Let's take a moment just to call upon the Spirit and pray. Gracious God, we ask that you remind us that you have created each one of us in your image and likeness, and that you have given us rights of human dignity, and you have given us a way to preserve that human dignity and rights through a democracy. So we ask that you lend your Spirit so that we can continue to have a free democracy in our area. We ask that we carefully listen to each of the candidates, listen to their heart, their mind, and their soul, and so that we can determine who will lead us to that free democracy. And lastly, we ask your blessing upon the food that has been provided for us this evening and the persons who made it. Amen.
Thank you, Sister Barb. Good evening, everyone. We are going to be getting started. Please take a seat. As Sister Barb mentioned, we do have chili and cornbread in the back. One of them is vegetarian and the other one is beef chili. So please help yourselves and get some good chili because it's cold, okay? I'm Shayla Holmes with VPEP. I also work with Coalition Against Violence, which is our Violence Prevention Initiative. And I also work for CEIR, which is our Corporate Equity and Inclusion Roundtable. So I'm just in beat with Tim Stevens and VPEP. So I'm honored to be here to moderate for our meet and greet the candidates, part 1, okay? And we do have our first candidate here, who I'm going to bring up, who is our city treasurer. We do have a few candidates here already, and we are waiting for a few more to arrive, so just sit tight. You know, people are just getting off of work, and there's some traffic, so let's give them some time to get here, okay? All right, so we are going to get started first with the city treasurer, okay? And I'm going to be reading what the role of the city treasurer is, what they do, and all that good stuff. So let me get to that, because I have no idea what they do. How many of you know what they do? Oh, city controller. I'm so sorry about that. We have you here as city treasurer, so I apologize. So we are going to fix that for sure. So city controller is what we're going to be reading up on first. And the city controller, we have that here. So we're going to pull up. Okay. I got it right here. All right, let's go. All right, so the city controller is one of 2 independently elected citywide offices in the city of Pittsburgh. And the role, other than being the mayor, and they have the term of the office of the city controller for 4 years, and it is not term limited, okay? The city controller is the fiscal watchdog for the citizens of the city of Pittsburgh. It is the job of the controller to protect city tax dollars from waste, fraud, and abuse, okay? And the controller does this by auditing all city government-related expenditures. The city also has a finance department and treasurer who collect and audit all city revenues, okay? The controller also conducts audits of all city departments and city authorities, such as the Comprehensive Annual Financial Report, the Annual Report, the Urban Redevelopment Authority, which is the URA, the Pittsburgh Parking Authority, Pittsburgh Water and Sewage Authority, and the Pittsburgh Housing Authority. So let's bring up Rachel Heisler for our city controller. Let's give her a round of applause.
Hi everyone, it's so nice to be here and be among friends. My name is Rachel Heisler. I'm going to share a little bit about myself. I'll share a little bit about the city controller's office, and then I'll talk about my 3 priorities if I'm fortunate enough to be elected. Like I said, my name is Rachel Heisler. I'm a resident of the north side. I live 4 blocks away in the central north side. I am a Pittsburgher by choice, not by birth. I grew up in central Pennsylvania and moved to Pittsburgh 20 years ago to attend the University of Pittsburgh. My mom has deep family roots in the region, and I stayed. I have a background in sustainable public finance. After college, I got a job from Congressman Jason Altmaier, who I worked for 6 years. I got a job after his time in office ended with the Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget. For 7 years, I learned about federal budgeting, the federal budget, how the federal government collects and spends money. And in 2001, in January, I was fortunate enough to be named Deputy City Controller by current City Controller Michael Lamb, a position I hold today. And for the last almost 3 years, I've just learned the ins and outs of the City Controller's office. I'll be ready on day one, and I am thrilled to be the Democratic nominee. The City Controller's office is, like Shayla mentioned, it's the third branch of government in the city of Pittsburgh. The mayor is the executive, the legislative branch is the city council, and that check and balance with the rest of city government is the city controller. The office has 3 core functions: our accounting function, we're the financial record keeper of the city; our auditing section, which evaluates how all city funds are spent for efficiency, economy, scale, etc. We have 2 sections within that: the performance audit section and the fiscal audit section. And then our last core responsibility as an office is to pay the city's bills. We have the city's accounts payable function. Every invoice that comes into the city ultimately ends up in our office. We send auditors out to look at that invoice to inspect if the work was completed or if the materials were received, and then we then process and make that payment on behalf of the city. My 3 priorities and the reason that I chose to run, first and foremost, we need to make sure the city maintains its fiscal health. We have to make sure we continue to pay our bills, honor our commitment to workers and retirees. 2, I want to make sure that city funds continue to be spent fairly, equitably, and as intended. And lastly, we need to make sure that everybody pays their fair share. Right now, the burden and cost of city government falls almost exclusively on the shoulders of the people, our residents who live here, through property taxes and wage taxes. So that's me. That's a little bit about the office. The race, I'm running unopposed in the general election. The Democratic primary was quite crowded, but I'm fortunate to be the Democratic nominee and would humbly ask for your support on November 7th. I'm glad, I don't know if I'm allowed, but I'm glad to take questions if anybody has them. No, I'm not taking questions. Sorry, Judy. Well, thank you so much for the chance to be here with you. My website is Rachel for Controller. If you have any questions, my cell phone number is on there along with my personal email address. Please feel free to reach out to me. Many of the folks here already have my contact information and have things they want us to look into starting in January, which I'm glad to do. So stay in touch, and thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Rachel. So I was just informed that there is a 5-minute time limit for each candidate, and you will be being timed, so please be aware that you stay within your 5 minutes, okay? Thank you. All right, so that was Rachel Heisler, who is running again for City Controller. So again, thank you, Rachel, for being with us. All right, next up, we are going to be announcing the county treasurer. Okay, but before we announce our candidate, I'm going to read the role of our county treasurer. Okay. Again, we have chili in the back, help yourself. Vegetarian and beef chili with some cornbread. Can't have chili without cornbread. Okay. So the county treasurer. Give me 1 minute. Because I don't know, so, I have to look it up really quickly. So as we get the role of the county treasurer, So in the meantime, I'm going to introduce our candidate for county treasurer, Erica Brusselers. And we're going to have Erica explain what she's running for. Thank you, Erica. Let's give her a round of applause.
Hi, my name is Erica Brusselars, and I'll start with the description of the office. So the county treasurer serves the whole county of Allegheny, serves a 4-year term. The wage for the office is about $117,000 a year. And I view there as 3 main responsibilities of the county treasurer's office. They bill for and collect all of our county taxes. That's our real estate tax, sport alcohol beverage tax, car rental tax, and a hotel tax. And they are in charge of investing all of the money that the county has on hand. That can range from $200 million to $800 million. And working with the county to report all of that money. And the county treasurer also serves on our county's retirement board as the president of the board. That retirement plan serves about 5,000 retired county employees, all of our future retirees, and it has about $900 million in assets, and it's also significantly underfunded at this point. And now I'll just get back to the beginning of my speech. Thank you all for having us here today. I really appreciate the sponsoring organizations for both the ongoing work they do to support informed and well-run elections, and for creating this opportunity for candidates and voters to meet. I am Erica Roque Brusselars. I'm the Democratic nominee running for Allegheny County Treasurer. My platform is one of transparency, modernization, collaboration, and leadership, and I'm ready to bring it into practice in our treasurer's office. I'm highly qualified with a 15-year career as a pension actuary at a large consulting company, and I have a math degree from Carnegie Mellon. I have project management experience to lead the 65-person office while improving processes and services. One of the key responsibilities, as I mentioned, is to serve on our county's retirement board. I have the expertise to bring a much-needed focus to the severely underfunded plan. I already told you a lot about the operation. So my skills in these operations is I have a breadth of experience identifying, implementing, and managing large system projects. There's a lot of big processes within the treasurer's office that can be streamlined and improved. Additionally, I will bring that expertise to our county's retirement board. And I believe the third responsibility of our treasurer is being a leader for the residents of Allegheny County. Not only working to create a modern, forward-thinking office, but raising issues that are important to our residents and our future, and providing one more conduit for folks to positively engage with our government. I'm well qualified for this office, and as your next county treasurer, I will continue to work on modernizing the payment system, working collaboratively with other departments and elected leaders to move our services forward and ensure our retirees receive the funds that they're promised. Above all, I will work honorably and transparently for the residents of the county. I'm the candidate who understands the roles and responsibilities of the office. I'm the candidate who has a vision and plan for what needs to be done. I'm the candidate who comes with a career of qualifying experience, and I will bring an independent, active voice to the office. My message is resonating across the county. I'm endorsed by our Central Labor Council and several individual unions, the Unite PAC, and most recently Planned Parenthood. Ask for your support during the campaign. You can find us at ericafortreasurer.com. And ask for your vote on November 7th. Mail ballots are already out. Over-the-counter voting is happening downtown. And if you like what you hear, please share my name with your friends, Erica Roque Brusselars. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Erica. And thank you for also explaining your role for the county treasurer, okay? All right, again, we have chili in the back. Please help yourselves. Vegetarian and beef chili. All right, next we are going to be introducing County Council District 10. And I will be reading what this entails. All right, we're good, continuing. All right, so it says, have you ever wondered what the Allegheny County Council actually does? I wonder, because I don't know. So, under the Home Rule Charter, which was approved in May of 1998, the voters of Allegheny County choose to replace the former 3 commissioners, okay, in the form of government that was elected for the county executive. And 5 elected county council members also was chosen in May of 1998. County council is the county's new legislator. Every Allegheny County resident resides in a council district and is represented by a council member from that district. They are also represented by 2 council members elected at large. That means countywide. Members are elected for staggered 4-year terms. The powers and duties of council include approving and amending legislation that is proposed by the county executive. Council members may also generate legislation on their own, and they are also responsible for the levy of taxes, fees, service charges, and the passage of balanced annual operating and capital budgets, okay? So we are going to bring up our County Council District 10 candidate, DeWitt Walton. Let's give him a round of applause.
Hello, my name is DeWitt Walton, and I currently serve as Allegheny County Councilman for District 10. I am a Democrat. I am an endorsed Democrat. I have been endorsed by the Allegheny County Democratic Party. I have been endorsed by the Allegheny County Labor Council, and I've been endorsed by almost every union, whether it deals with my home union, the United Steelworkers, whether it's the laborers, the operating engineers, the steam fitters, the electricians, the plumbers, the iron workers, ASME, and many others. I'm going to say to you that I'm not here to talk about some esoteric things. I'm going to talk about what I've done, and to be judged by what I've done, whether it is issues of public safety, whether it is issues on education, whether it is issues on economic development, whether it is issues on community support, and the like. Let me start with public safety. I authored and fought for the passage of the Independent Police Review Board, which is now in place. We have concerns about public safety. We have concerns about whether or not individuals are treated appropriately by law enforcement. We now have in place a countywide Independent Police Review Board to review and determine whether or not the police did take appropriate action, and to forward if we find violation, if the Independent Police Review Board finds violation, to the State Attorney General for adjudication. I'm extremely proud of fighting for and beating off efforts to water down and not have that legislation passed. Extremely proud. I fought and led the effort to do that. When we talk about housing, there are issues that we are confronted with and hear every day about affordable housing. Just 2 weeks ago, right there in Uptown, there's a development started called Midpoint Towers, where there are going to be 120 units of affordable housing. The developers of that project had real problems finding the appropriate amount of financing for that project. They called me, and I went and took the steps of reaching out to legislators at the state level, to directors of state agencies, to urge them to find the appropriate gap financing to have that project completed. It took us about 18, almost 20 months to get that financing together. But ground was broken 2 weeks ago. We're gonna have an additional 120 units of affordable housing developed, and that goes in conjunction with the work that I've done with the Housing Authority City of Pittsburgh to find and gain $50 million of federal funding to rebuild Bedford dwellings in its entirety. Those are just two examples. When we talk about education, we know that success in people's lives is largely dependent upon the quality of education that you get and how people are prepared to be successful. What I've done, I was part of a task force that reviewed early childhood development, pre-K, and after-school programs. 2 years ago, we took the step of including into the county budget initially $5 million for what's called the Early Childhood Education Fund to provide, again, pre-K, pre-K, early childhood education, and after-school programs so kids can get nurtured and the supports that they need to have a greater chance of being successful in their lives. We increased that funding, so in the 2023 budget, that went from $5 million to $20 million so that we can make sure that children will have an opportunity to continue to be successful. When we continue to talk about those kinds of things, when the county sold its health department in Oakland, I worked with the county executive, and we placed the county health department in the Hill District, right there on Riley Avenue. So those are just a couple of examples. The Lower Hill, I've been fighting for and working for the last 14 years to have development projects like FMB Tower, FMB, so that those people will have an opportunity to work, build those kinds of projects, and build a more prosperous future for themselves and their families. When we talk about community pieces, the borough of Wilkinsburg had problems with their sewer system and was dumping sewage in a Little League field in Edgewood. They came to me, we found $2 million in the county to solve that problem, and no longer is sewage being dumped in a Little League field in Edgewood, and Wilkinsburg is solving their problems without the sand. It's that kind of leadership that I've provided. It's that kind of leadership that I'll continue. And I want to ask you for your support for me on November 7th to be elected. Thank you.
Give it up.
All right, thank you, Mr. Walton. Let's give him another round of applause. All right, we are going to be bringing up our next county council, District 10 candidate, Mr. Randall Taylor. Please come up. Thank you. Let's give him a round of applause. Representing Mr. Carl Redwood for us.
There we go.
Let's give him a round of applause.
Everybody can hear me. I have the great honor to represent this evening an independent candidate and an independent voice for County Council, Carl Redwood. I am so proud to stand here to to talk about someone who's talking about a different vision for this city. The old stuff ain't worked. You know, I strongly support Senator Casey. I'm a big fan of Governor Shapiro. But these local Democrats, it wasn't Republican who done this to Homewood. I'm a former Penn Plaza resident. I was displaced with hundreds of my neighbors. It was not a Republican who helped kick me and my 100. It were local Democrats. So we have to talk about an alternative vision. We have to elect candidates that are always going to vote to raise the minimum wage for workers in this city. We need to vote for someone who's always going to stand up for unions and for people to have a right to unionize, and that's Carl Redwood. We're going to stand up for affordable housing, not just for homeowners. And you know, Carl Redwood has been part of an effort this week. He's fought for 10 years for a $1 car, that every car that's parked on the Hill, $1 of that car goes to Hill District so we can begin to repair homes in the Hill District. That is something real that Carl Redwood has accomplished. And he's going to make sure that affordable housing is available to all that need it, because housing is a human right. Carl Redwood has been on this scene for 50 years in this struggle for the dignity of particularly working people, but more particularly Black people, and more particularly our most vulnerable communities. He talked about our LGBTQ siblings long before everybody else did. He's always been on the scene. And you know what Carl Redwood is working on right now? Delivering for you today. Because some of us here who are from the East End, we know we've had a bad corner at the corner of Homewood and Frankstown. Tim Stevens knows about that bad corner. These past few months, Carl Redwood has been organizing the tenants of Homewood House. Tenants who are facing the lack of security, which was pulled, no security in that area. They're facing mold, they're facing bed bugs, they're facing mice. And Tim Stevens and Carl Redwood has been organizing those residents. Tim Stevens seen him at the meeting last week. And they reached out, made a partnership with the police chief, with the new commander, number 5. They got a commitment from him to clean up that corner. And for the first time in 5 years, that corner is clean of drug trafficking and other negative activities. That's called delivering, folks. And he ain't even in office yet. So if you want more, please let me know, because I can't clear my throat in 3 minutes. So somebody let me know where I'm at time. But Carl Redwood, we've been waiting to get him to run for office for so long, and finally it's here. You know one of the first things Carl's going to talk about? Is rent control in this city. Now you know that's never going to pass. I mean, it might pass, but if it gets passed, it's going to be overturned. But what Carl is trying to do is show y'all there's a different way of living. You know what Carl Redwood's going to talk about? He's going to be right with the GM workers. You know, one of the things they're fighting for is a 4-day work week. Oh, isn't that crazy? 4-day work week? But we work too much, folks. We're not with our families enough. We don't have the time to raise children, even have more children, because we work too damn much, just like the rent is too damn high. So whether that passes or whatever, but Carl Redwood is offering you a new vision of how we can live as a community, how we can live as family, how we can work with each other and cooperate with each other and build new communities. So Carl's an independent. I think I've sounded like this is a little bit different, or we can continue down the same path that we continued down as Black folks for the last 50 years, or we're going to try to talk about a new world and a new vision. Are you with me? You want to give Carl Redwood a try? I would never quote Donald Trump, but what did Donald Trump say? What y'all got to lose? What you got to lose? And you just may gain a new world. Carl Redwood. And most importantly, you should vote for Carl Redwood because his son is one of the stars of FBI International that is on tonight at 9 o'clock, Carter Redwood. So in case you don't know, that's Carl Redwood's son. All right, thank you.
right, thank you, Mr. Taylor. Let's give him another round of applause. Again, he is here for Mr. Carl Redwood, okay? So that is the candidate that is running. For county council, okay, county council, and again, there are 15 elected county council members. Allegheny County is divided into council districts, and each district is represented by a council member, okay, who resides in that district. There are also 2 council members elected citywide, which we call the council, county council at large. And these members are elected for 4-year terms. All right, so we're going to move along to our next candidate, who is running for City District 1. Okay. And we're going to have Mr. Bobby Wilson come up and explain what City District 1 does. Let's give him a round of applause.
How's everyone doing tonight? Good to see everyone. I really appreciate all the sponsors of the event, making sure that people get an opportunity to hear from the candidates. I'm Bobby Wilson, and I'm running for City Council District 1. And historically, that's just been on the north side. But now, the new district for the past year has been expanded to the Strip District and also downtown. So it's quite an important district for the city and our region, in particular because of the expansion. You know, I had the opportunity of growing up here in the city, and I liked it so much, never left. And I just think it's incredible to be a Pittsburgher, especially during these times, because I think we're very resilient people, and I think people know what Pittsburgh's about, and I'm proud to be a Pittsburgher. I could go on about that, but what I really want to talk about is how, since I've been in office, I've been trying to support those Pittsburghers and do my best to make sure that not only our workforce in the city are supported, but also, you know, by way of recently, in the past, since I've been in office for the past 4 years, the way I've supported city workers has been in the way of extending paid sick leave. So we were basically the only city in the country whenever there was another wave of COVID that came past, and everyone had to deal with it. You know, I wanted to make sure that workers were protected throughout the whole city. Specifically, for actual City of Pittsburgh employees, I also passed legislation to make sure that they, in the time of pregnancy loss, that they could get bereavement leave. So we were the first municipality in the nation to have that for our workers. Because I believe that, you know, if we're supporting the workers in a lot of ways, whether it's time off or, you know, in terms of wages, that's the best way that we can make an impact to the people of Pittsburgh. We've also stood with 32BJ, SEIU 32BJ recently to make sure that all the property owners and employers, when they went into their contracting phase, to make sure these are the cleaners, the security guards downtown to keep us all safe and clean, that, you know, they're really the economic driver of our region in that case, especially during this pandemic, whenever the downtown really took a hit, that they got what they needed. And that I'm proud to say that, you know, we sent city council on board to make sure that we're going to send a letter to all of these employers to make sure they know the importance of these workers in Pittsburgh. And they recently walked out with a great contract, and they're going to be able to provide for their families. So having to work with organizations like that, unions, to make sure that their workers have a good working wage. In terms of this neighborhood that I represent, I've been making sure in the budget, this is a big part of City Council. Yeah, I can do a lot of stuff on the legislative level to make sure that people are protected, protections are protected, but also real investments in the neighborhood. So we're talking about playgrounds. We're putting in $2.5 million playground actually a whole park. It's more than a playground, it's a spring feature. It's also just really making a big play space in Spring Hill. And not only did we just invest in the park, but we actually looked at the surrounding area and where sidewalks were missing. We went in and built sidewalks directly to, if you all know the Three Rivers Manor, there was never a sidewalk connecting those 200 apartments to that park. So we literally went in, I worked alongside DOMI, the Department of Mobility and Infrastructure, to make sure that we invested in a brand new sidewalk all down there to connect, for those residents to connect to that park. East Ohio Street, full streetscape is going to be, is in the budget. Full investment there. North side, Federal Street, is going to see some traffic calming. We have Federal Street, but North Avenue, fully renovated by 2025, was able to get that in the budget. Also, Chestnut Street, those tracks that were there became dangerous, so we want to make sure that we're going to take those tracks out, but we're also going to put back the brick. If Squirrel Hill can have brick in their alleys, we can still keep brick on our streets here. So there's a lot of things that I do to make sure that we're making also investments here in the neighborhoods, but also I try to speak to the larger tone of the whole nation and what workers and what people need in their cities to thrive. So I'm Bobby Wilson. I'd appreciate your support in this election here, and I'm just proud to represent the people that I represent. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Bobby Wilson. And again, Bobby is running for the City District 1, okay? So let's be sure to make sure that we do our research on all of our candidates. And we're going to take a moment right now to thank all of our sponsors for today's event. Of course, we're going to thank BPEC, Black Political Empowerment Project. We're going to thank the League of Women Voters, Black Voters Matter, YWCA of Greater Pittsburgh, Wake Up the Vote, the Pittsburgh Higher Ground Foundation, APA, the Transformative Justice Coalition. Woo, okay. All right, Beam, NAACP, Western Pennsylvania Black Political Assembly, and the Pittsburgh Peace is Possible Coalition. Woo, I'll vote for that because I remember. Okay. All right, and keep in mind that this is not our only meet and greet the candidates. Our next meet and greet the candidates is going to be Thursday, November 2nd. That's going to be from 6 to 8:30 at St. James AME Church, located at 444 Lincoln Avenue in Pittsburgh, 15206 in the Lincoln neighborhood, okay? So make sure you come out November 2nd to our next meet and greet the candidates. So I do believe that was all of our candidates that were present tonight. So let's give them all another round of applause for coming tonight. And although we are not running at this moment for a magisterial district judge, we do have a speaker here with us today that we're going to introduce, okay? Yes. So we're going to introduce magisterial district judge Leah Williams Duncan, okay? And she's with the district 05242 Upper North Side. So let's give her a round of applause.
To say I am not a candidate. And I thank you all for electing me to a 6-year term, and that was back in 2021. So I'm just here today just as a concerned citizen, just as the rest of you. And also because I don't want you to meet me for the first time in my courtroom. So that's why you see my face, in these events. And I thank everyone and all of the sponsors for giving me this opportunity. Again, I am the magisterial district judge for 05242. That is the Upper North Side. Perry North, Perry South, Observatory Hill, Brighton Heights, Marshall Shadeland, Summer Hill, Northview Heights, and Spring Hill. I hope I didn't miss any of them. So just as you may be wondering what county council or what city council does, some of you are still wondering what a magisterial district judge does, right? In my district, I hear actions, landlord-tenant actions, I hear city ordinance actions, truancy, summary offenses that take place in the schools, and I also hear civil actions up to $12,000. Now, Pittsburgh is different from any other district in the state because we also have a Pittsburgh Municipal Court. So there are 3 magisterial district judges from within the city of Pittsburgh. I'm sorry, not 3, 13. The 13 of us rotate, we take turns rotating downtown in Pittsburgh Municipal Court. There, we hear criminal actions, the preliminary hearings, and that can be on anything from a simple retail theft to a homicide. We conduct all of those preliminary hearings. We also conduct the arraignments. When I was running cash bail, that was a big issue, and it's my understanding that it still is. Well, I know that it still is. That was a big issue, but those cash bail, that's usually set when we're doing the arraignment. So the 13 municipal court judges from within the city of Pittsburgh, we handle all of those arraignments for the city of Pittsburgh downtown. We also hear traffic court, domestic violence, non-traffic summary offenses, the ordinance offenses which come from the city of Pittsburgh. Just a variety of everything from within the city of Pittsburgh. And again, I'm here because, thankfully, I'm not running for re-election, but I do want to make sure that you understand what the magisterial district court is about, what we do. We are elected officials. And again, we thank you. You put us into office, so you should know what we're up to. You can tell, as I said, anything from a summary offense to a homicide, you can be presiding over downtown. So we are quite busy. And our courtrooms are open to the public, both downtown and in our districts. You are free to come in and sit in and see exactly what we do. You can't sit in on cases involving the juveniles, but on anything else downtown for the criminal proceedings, it's an open court, it's your court, and especially in my district, it is your neighborhood court. So I welcome you to come in, sit in, and see what we do, see what you elected us to do, make sure that we're doing, what we promised that we would do. What I promised to do was to conduct fair and impartial hearings, and make sure that everyone who comes before me has a fair and impartial hearing. I'm starting to sound like a candidate. Yes. I'm not a candidate. That's what I promised to do, and that's what I have been doing. But once again, I am here today because I am a concerned citizen, just like all of you, and also because I want you to meet me. I want you to know who I am. Our justice system is set up to be adversarial. That's why I don't want to meet you for the first time in my courtroom. So come by, say hi to me, stop in, sit in on a hearing, and once again, make sure that you're, keeping an eye on us and make sure that we're doing exactly what you elected us to do. Thank you.
All right.
All right, that's my kind of candidate. Sorry, she's not a candidate. I'm joking. I pay attention. No, thank you, Miss Leah Duncan. Let's give her another round of applause for being here, introducing herself. And one thing that I do want to mention on behalf of Black Political Empowerment Project, BPEP. How many of you know what our motto is? Raise your hand. Okay, so our motto is we vote in each and every election, right? So, we do these meet and greet the candidates every year, every election, and we need this room to be filled, okay? So I ask that each of you really start sharing and spreading the words, because just like somebody like myself, I don't know what any of these positions mean, right? So we need to be hearing from our candidates. We need to know who we're voting for, why we're voting for them, and why it's important. So let's start working on spreading the word and inviting at least 2 people, okay, to our meet and greet the candidates. So on November 2nd at St. James AME, everybody in this room, you better have 2 people with you, okay? I'm gonna hold you accountable for that. But no, seriously, we need to know these things, especially for our younger adults, right? My age group and younger, they don't know this information. So that's why a lot of us don't get out and vote, because we don't know. So it's important that we bring more people into this room so we know our candidates. So when we get out here and vote, we know who we're voting for and why, okay? So I did want to mention that. And again, we thank you to all of our sponsors, and we really appreciate it. But next, I'm going to bring up our next speaker, my girl, Miss Siobhan Rainey. Give her a round of applause.
Better known as boots on the ground.
There you go. Good evening, and thank you all so very much for coming. It is truly a blessing to come together and talk about our right to vote. My name is Siobhan Rainey, they call me the mouth of the South, and y'all know why. What I'd like to say is it's been a pleasure and it will continue to be an honor to work with such an elite group. Miss Judy, Mr. Tim, Miss Lorraine, the whole gamut. You just don't know how much work. Miss Trish Park, I forgot Miss Trish in the house. What I would like to say is this. Pittsburgh High Ground Praise Ministry, Pastor Dolores Brewer have put her heart into the hard work of servicing the community, but first of all, serving God. We're at 3505 Perrysville Avenue. We do have a very active pastor, passionate pastor, dedicated. Sometimes I don't like her, but I love her. We've been together a long time. It ain't nothing new. What I'd like to say is, please remember this. Each and every vote matters. It counts. Now, my other hat, I'm with the John Lewis Transformative Justice Coalition out of Washington, D.C. And he says, good trouble. And Mr. Tim always tells me I'm good trouble and boots on the ground. But what I'd like to say this. What affects one affects us all. Every election is very pivotal. And we know what's going on around this world and in this country called the United States of America. But I'd like to say to you, get out and vote. Take everyone that you know, get out and vote. I have a granddaughter, she just turned 18, and she will be out voting. I have another granddaughter that works on the polls with me, Jasmine Rainey. You see a young lady right there, she's been with me, and what I've done with my grandchildren is bring them out to do community service. And this is what it's about. Educate, advocate, stay faithful, stay focused, boots on the ground. Thank you.
Very well, sir. All right, all right.
All right, another round of applause for Miss Yvonne Rainey, boots on the ground. Every time I see her, she is short, okay? I'm young, so y'all gotta give me, I'm animated, I'm making fun a little bit. But we do have some events coming up that I want to announce. As I mentioned, we have another meet and greet the candidates, which is going to be November 2nd, okay? That's November 2nd at St. James AME Church, which is located at 444 Lincoln Avenue, 15206, okay? So again, come out, invite some people, at least 2 people, and let's get that room filled out there in at St. James, okay? Also wanted to mention, we have our last community conversation series with the Pittsburgh Chief of Police, Larry Soretto. We've had 5, okay? So Tim was able to talk with the Chief of Police, and he agreed to sit down and have these police conversations. I was proud to take part of at least 2 of them, Tim, I believe. And we have our last one coming up, okay? And that one is going to be this Thursday, October the 19th, from 6 to 8 p.m. And the address is going to be Trinity AME Zion Church at 3105 Allendale Street, okay? So let's put that in your phone, so write that address down, 3105 Allendale Street, and that's located in Pittsburgh on 5204, which is the West End area, which I have no information about because I don't go out that way. So I'll be out there at the police conversation, so make sure you guys come out. That's going to be our last police conversation, so we want to pack that room as well, okay? So with that being said, again, we are going to thank Miss Judy Clack with the League of Women Voters. Please come on up and say a few words. And we thank you, Miss Judy, for all you do.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for sticking around. I just have one huge message. Tomorrow in the Pittsburgh Courier, there will be our full printed voter's guide. The full printed voter's guide will be in tomorrow's Courier, so you can pick up your copy if you don't already have a subscription, or you can go online to vote.pa.gov. Well, excuse me, no, go to vote411.org, vote411.org to find information about everyone on your ballot, or you can pick up a copy of the Courier tomorrow. The League of Women Voters wants you to be educated. We don't take sides, we don't care who you vote for. We just want you to vote, but we want you to be an educated voter. So if you go to vote411.org, type in your home address. Your entire ballot will come up, one race at a time. You'll see a picture of the candidates, their biography, and their answers to a few questions. So you can compare and contrast them side by side and make up your own mind. The League of Women Voters is very happy to be a co-sponsor of this event, and we will be there on November 2nd at St. James AME. Thanks for coming tonight. And next, I'd like to maybe just pass the mic on to Tim Stevens from Black Political Empowerment Project, our main co-sponsor, our main organizer for this event, along with Lorraine Cross. Thank you.
Ta-da, it's just me again. I'd like to give a shout out to Mr. Lee. Mr. Ted Lee, he has always been open for us to come here. He welcomes us. Would you all please give him a round of applause? Thank you, Mr. Lee. Thank you. Thank you. And also, I'd like to introduce his wife. She's with the foster care. Miss Nora Lee, come on up here. While she's coming, I'd like to let you all know that I am the newly elected president of the Northside Public Safety Council Zone 1. Woo-hoo! And please join us every first Thursday at the Mattress Factory. Miss Mickey is our new secretary. Miss Trish is coming. You know what? We're doing good things together. And the reason I'm saying that is because we're talking about building relationships with our public safety. We had Coffee for Cops in Northview. We had 35 residents. We had 5 officers there. This is what the council is about, growing together. We have 19 neighborhoods on the north side, and every neighborhood should be at the table, because I always say what affects one affects us all. Here's Miss Nora Lee. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Noir Lee. I am I'm here from Greater Valley Community Services. And the reason why I'm speaking to you all today is because I am looking for foster parents in Allegheny County. So I am a foster care recruiter. You all got flyers today. My information is on the flyer. That's my name and my email. Some things that people always wonder about foster care. You know, can I do it? You know, basically we just need you to be an able-bodied, to have an available home, a room, and just the time to be able to pour into that child and help that child to be able to go back to their home. So if you guys, you know, if you could just share the information at your groups, in your churches, social media, so that others can be aware of the need for foster parents. It's really a big need right now. We have children waiting. We have children waiting right now who have nowhere to go. And so it's really hard. Some of them have been waiting for years. So I just hope that, you know, someone could at least share the flyer, talk to someone you might know may be a good fit. you know, just try to think more about it, put more thought into it, so we can try to find the right foster parents for these children and youth, okay? Thanks.
All right.
Every child deserves a family. Every family deserves a child. Remember that. Thank you.
Well said. Well said.
All right, thank you to Ms. Nora Lee for that information. Let's give her another round of applause. We love the kids, right? That means the kids are good. They are the future, right? I'm about to have me start singing, I believe. All right, next we are going to be introducing Moran. Okay, so Moran, get ready to come on up here. Moran is coming from BEAM, Pittsburgh. And BEAM stands for Voter Empowerment, Education, and Enrichment Movement. So let's give a round of applause for Ms. Moran. Come on up and join us. Moran from BEAM.
Big hurry.
Good evening, everybody. I know we're close to the end of the program. We're getting all restless. I get it. I am Maureen Fortley. I'm the executive director and the founder of BEAM, the Voter Empowerment, Education, and Enrichment Movement. We have been around since 2017. So we just celebrated our 6th year, and our entire goal is to increase voter turnout in Allegheny County. We do this primarily through educating voters, so events like this is all our jam. We love it. Hearing from candidates. Echoing the great job, by the way, Shayla did a great job. First of all, great job. I love to see it. Thank you to all of the sponsors, and thank you for including me. Y'all know I be at work all day, every day. I can't come to these calls, but thank you for holding space for us. So we can show up and be here. You already know the election is coming. We want to just remind everybody, make sure your registration is up to date. And back there in the back with the League of Women Voters, you can make sure your address is up to date. Your name is up to date. If you've had a, marriage, divorce, whatever, you change your name, get your stuff updated. You don't want any drama at the polls. If you have issues and not sure where exactly you need to vote, those are the type of things that all of the folks in this room can answer. Right now, I just want to encourage you to follow us on social media at BEAM Pittsburgh. BEAM has 3 E's, not 2, 3 E's. So follow us at BEAM Pittsburgh on all the platforms, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, LinkedIn, all the things.
All that.
That's all I got for now. Thank you all.
All right.
All right, thank you, Moran, with the baby girl with you. All right, let's give Moran another round of applause for BEAM. Again, make sure you go follow BEAM on all their social media sites. It is important that we follow each of our sponsors on their pages, social media sites, etc. Okay, it's very important.
NAACP.
And next, we're going to have Mr. Dalen Davis from the NAACP. But we're going to acknowledge him because he doesn't want to say anything. So thank you, Dalen, for being here with us. We appreciate you.
Western Pennsylvania Black Political Assembly.
Okay, and we want to thank them as well, the Western Black Political Assembly. So let's give them a round of applause for being with us. All right, so again, we thank you to all of our candidates who came up and spoke with us. Again, thank you, Randall Taylor, for speaking for Mr. Carl Webwood. We appreciate you. And they didn't tell me what else to say, so I'm just gonna go to our events. And thank you, yes, thank you for the cornbread and the chili. Help yourself. We have vegetarian and beef chili with cornbread. You can't have your chili without your cornbread, so help yourselves. Again, we want to thank our lovely Timekeepers down here from the League of Women Voters, let's give them a round of applause. 'Cause we know this, we gotta keep the time, so we know this all works together. Let's give a round of applause to Ms. Lorraine for all her hard work, putting this together, and everybody else that helps out with this wonderful event that we put together for you all. So again, the next event is going to be November 2nd. So come on out and invite someone. And we're going to be closing with Mr. Tim Stevens. Let's give him a round of applause.
One of the things that we're trying to do in the BPEP family, Greater Pittsburgh Coalition Against Violence and Corporate Equity and Inclusion Roundtable, what we call intergenerational leadership. And that's why we've asked this young lady to facilitate tonight. And you can see she was more than capable. Shayla Holmes. She's our Youth Peace Summit coordinator. If you want to work with our anti-violence work, please see her when we're done. We just came for a few hours together today working on Corporate Equity and Inclusion Roundtable. We have our 11th annual summit or conference at Duquesne University on Tuesday the 21st between 8, we'll have breakfast around 8:15. Start by 9 and end by no later than 1. So we've been working on that most of the day. But I wanted you to give a hand to Shayla, our facilitator. Shayla Holmes.
Thank you. And before we let you all go, this evening we do want to announce our roll to the polls. You know, BPEP every year, we help get people out to vote, especially our elderly that cannot make it out. I know my grandfather is 88, so he sometimes has a hard time, but we make sure that he still gets out and vote, right? So, absolutely. All right, so our next Get Out and Vote rolls to the polls is going to be Tuesday, November 7th, of course, Election Day. And you can call BPEP's Roll to the Polls, which is going to be serving the Hill District, Northside, Manchester, Homewood, East Hills, East Liberty, Garfield, Bloomfield, Wilkinsburg, Braddock, McKeesport, Southside, and the West Side. So pretty much everywhere, right? East side, west, north, and south. So we definitely want to offer this to anybody that might need some assistance. And again, we ask that you help us out, right? Help us out, offer your ride to Rolls to the Polls. You bring some people out, all right? So to arrange a ride on Election Day, you can call this number, 412-793-8091. Again, that's 412-793-8091. Or you can call 412-212-8775. Again, that number is 412-212-8775, all right? And just please call those numbers if you need to report any voting difficulties. You could also call Election Protection Hotline.
All right.
Okay, and that's 1-866-OUR-VOTE, 1-866-OUR, O-U-R, vote, V-O-T-E. And again, that's 1-866-687-8683. All right, if you want to help us on Election Day, stop by our Election Protection Headquarters, which is our BPEP headquarters located at 2201 Wiley Avenue, right in the Hill District, next to the NAACP office, okay? Or you can email us at don't forget the dash, PEP-info, I-N-F-O, at b-pep.net. Don't forget the dash, okay? Again, that's b-pep-info, I-N-F-O, at b-pep.net, okay? All right, you can also go to cab.pgh for all of our Coalition Against Violence work, which I so proudly work with our Coalition Peace Summit, so please come out to a Peace Summit as well. And that is again cab.pgh@gmail.com for more information on our Peace Summits. Or you can call the lovely Lorraine, but I don't know if she wants me to give her number out. Okay, she said it's fine. 412-758-2056. 412-758-2056. All right, thank you all for coming out. We appreciate you all being here. Again, invite people out to our next meet and greet the candidates, which is coming November 2nd. All right, let's get out of here. Is that chilly up? Thank you.
Oh, we wanted to acknowledge former school board member.
Sam Smith is coming this week.